about conspiracy theories. Snoop, you a fan? I think he's a fan. I was given this book from my friend for my birthday. From Crook to Cook, written by the legend, which is Snoop Dogg. Love it. Obviously, I had to find some conspiracy theories to go along with it, and obviously Snoop Dogg being the icon and the total legend that he is, like every great legend comes with conspiracy theories about pretty much anything and anything. I thought I was going through the book, and one of the things that really caught my eye was the my sweet potato pie. I've always wanted to try sweet potato pie. I've always seen in like American films and TV shows when they sit down and they have a slice of sweet potato pie. Sweet potato pie. Is that a thing? I don't know. But I've always wanted to try it. I don't know, like, I've never seen it in the UK. Maybe I've just not been in the right places, I don't know. But I've seen it, obviously because the page is bright yellow as well, I guess that kind of helped. But yeah, I loved it, liked the sound of it, always wanted to try it, so I thought, just give it a go. But yeah, hopefully Snoop Dogg, if you ever happen to stumble across my very small channel and you see my video, hopefully you'll like it. And hopefully I've done you proud. But yeah, let's just get into it. I will say it's a very colourful book. I absolutely love it. And look at him. Where is he? Look at our guy. Hell yeah, you wouldn't want to make a recipe from him. But yeah, it's a really great book. Definitely recommend buying it. Normally I would put the recipe steps and ingredients on the screen. I'm not going to do that today just because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like you should buy the book and do that. I don't know, I don't feel right about doing that. Maybe I might get sued or something, I don't know. But if you want to know the recipe, obviously buy the book or ask for it for Christmas or something, I don't know. But yeah, let's get into it.
Show me the dough.
Okay, so the first thing you need is 4 large sweet potatoes, and it says scrubbed. I don't really know what that means. I've never scrubbed the sweet potato before. I think it just means you've got to like wash them or something. But at the end of the day, I don't know, do I do that? Should I do that? I think I should do the scrubbing thing because they're getting everywhere. Okay, give me 2 seconds. So I've got all the bits off, I think that's what you're supposed to do. It says use 4 large sweet potatoes. These are the biggest ones I could find. So I'm adding in the little one just as like an extra precaution thing. Preheat the oven to 200, which I've already done. It says arrange the sweet potatoes on a baking sheet and transfer to the oven and bake to 40 to 90 minutes. Normally when I bake sweet potatoes, because I've made like a jacket spud type thing with sweet potatoes, it tells you to poke holes in them. This doesn't tell me to do that. And I know I'm not an expert, but I feel like if I don't poke a hole in them, they're going to explode or something. Because isn't that like why you're supposed to do that? You're supposed to like poke a hole to prevent like spud explosion. So I'm going to do that. I thought there's this conspiracy theory out there for every single celebrity. There obviously has to be some for Snoop Dogg, and I found quite a few interesting ones. And I will say, I think Snoop Dogg is partial to a conspiracy theory or two himself. I'm just saying.
You think the earth flat or round?
I done went around this motherfucker a few times. I think this motherfucker's rectangle.
Obviously it doesn't tell you to poke holes in them, but I am, so if this affects the outcome of the I didn't blame Snoop Dogg, blame me. 40 to 90 minutes. I feel like I should have done like a Blue Peter thing of like, here's some I made earlier, but you know me, I'm prepared. Okay, so while they're doing their thing, let's talk a little bit about Snoop Dogg and his background. Snoop Dogg, or as I should say, the Dogg Father, started out as a regular kid from Long Beach, just trying to make it out of the hood, and then boom. In the early 90s, he teams up with Dr. Dre and releases his first album titled Doggy Style in 1993 and becomes a total hip-hop legend, as we all know. He was literally on trial for murder just as his career was taking off. It was a real case, not just some tough guy talk that often features in rap songs, it was the real deal. But after a long, messy trial, he was acquitted. It was said it was self-defense and the jury agreed. Still, it stamped a permanent edge onto his image, and despite all that, he managed to go multi-platinum. Fast forward a little bit, and now he's doing gospel music, hosting game shows, dropping it like it's hot with Martha Stewart, and narrating nature documentaries like it's nothing. Some people say it's personal growth. Other people, obviously, which is why we're here, think there is a bit more to it, and they're like, dude, that's not the same guy. That's a clone, that's an alien, that ain't the original Snoop. So whatever the case, one thing's for sure, apparently he's not just a rapper anymore. Is that a rap? He's a mystery, wrapped in a blunt, wearing cool ass shades, probably laughing at all these theories. With all these changes in that wild past, some people are wondering, is the Snoop that we see today really the same guy, or is he a different guy who came up in the 90s? That's where our first theory comes in. One thing that I do need to do while I'm waiting for the sweet spuds, I need to melt my butter. So I'm just going to stick that in the microwave. There's orange zest that goes into this as well, so I'm just going to prepare that while we talk about our first theory. Some fans swear that the real Snoop Dogg disappeared sometime in the mid-2000s and was replaced. Why? Well, let's have a look. Apparently, some people noticed that his entire demeanour shifted. The aggressive G-funk gangster of the 90s suddenly mellowed out into a laid-back, reggae-loving figure. Remember Snoop Lion? That was his reggae alter ego, adopted around 2012, 2013. Supposedly inspired by a spiritual trip to Jamaica, and during that time, he even said he was born again. People have obviously ran with, because conspiracy theorists are saying that this wasn't just an artistic evolution, this was a replacement. He went from crook walking in the streets to cooking in Martha Stewart and baking holiday brownies. The clones love Martha Stewart and holiday cookbooks. Maybe the real Snoop really is somewhere else. To back up their theory, some people have pointed out changes in his personality and other things. So what are their sort of reasoning or evidence or whatever you want to call it? Some people have pointed out changes in his facial structure. They say that's not Asian, that's just a completely different bone structure. His voice, still smooth as silk, but noticeably less intense is what they're saying. And his behaviour, more polished, less raw. Other people have tied the theory into more broader ideas, like did the industry reboot Snoop Dogg to make him more brand friendly, or did he step away, or maybe even did he get taken out and a lookalike was trained to take his place? When you look into it, the timings get a little bit weirder when you notice just how many rappers have been reportedly cloned. I don't even think it's just a rapper thing. I think it's a celebrity thing, like you have the whole Avril Lavigne, thing. But apparently around that sort of era when people were noticing specific changes in Snoop, there were a lot of rappers who also were considered to be cloned around the same era. Gucci Mane, Eminem, Kodak Black, all of them disappeared for some time, whether due to jail or rehab or personal reasons, and people have said that they've all come back a little bit different. Gucci Mane, for example, was released from prison in 2016 after serving time on weapons charges. When he came out, fans immediately noticed that something was off. Apparently, according to his fans, he was suddenly lean, healthy, smiling, and his infamous erratic behaviour just gone. Conspiracy theorists jumped on it. That's not Gucci Mane, that's a government clone. And then you've got the Eminem theories. Eminem vanished from the spotlight after his 2005 overdose and re-emerged a few years later with a new sound and noticeably altered energy. Old M was considered to be raw and violent and unpredictable, whereas new M, more controlled, more calculated. His freestyle flow was still tight. Oh my god, I'm gonna edit that out.
Loser.
Some fans say his soul felt different, and others are completely convinced he re-emerged with a completely different facial structure, kind of like the whole Snoop Dogg thing. And then Kodak Black, same thing. Went to prison for falsifying information on a firearm background check form, and supposedly came out with a different voice, a new face, and even a different new vibe. His own fans started pointing it out. I've seen some of them say things like, that ain't the same guy, he barely blinks. I could win an award for longest time taken to zest an orange. That smells so good, it smells like Christmas. And then there's Snoop. I feel like I can't say that and not have it sound posh. Snoop Dogg. Snoop Doggy Dogg. Snoop. Can I pet that Snoop Dogg? And then there's Snoop. His switch wasn't triggered by jail time, but apparently by a spiritual journey, or so we're told. He went to Jamaica as Snoop Dogg and returned as Snoop Lion, claiming a personal rebirth. That's 4 major artists, all transformed after some sort of time away from the public eye. Each one suddenly sort of cleaned up and seemingly more controlled and less dangerous than before. I guess the real question is, are these people just aging with, you know, life experience, so they naturally evolving, you know, people tend to grow and things like that, or are we watching something deeper? Is it a coordinated reset? Is it an industry tactic to neutralise wildcards and replace them with brand safe replicas? I mean, if you believe it and start connecting the dots, it's not just eerie, it's kind of like strategic. Is it coincidence or is it Klingon? I'm pretty sure like majority of this video is going to be me zesting an orange. So sorry about that. Where there is a celebrity conspiracy theory, you'll find the Illuminati mentioned at least once, and Snoop Dogg is no exception. A lot of people say if you make it too far in the entertainment industry and you originally come from like some sort of neutral background, or you come from the streets or a similar background, that you must have made some sort of deal or got incredibly lucky. Like, who's saying that, by the way? Like, why can't you just be talented? With Snoop's decade-long reign and his survival through the most dangerous eras of gangster rap and his effortless pivot into cooking shows and children's content.
Wow.
He's off the chisel for schnizzle. Oh, it's just a potato.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, what's that?
That's a shank.
Some believe that that kind of success must come at a cost. You've made a deal, or you've got lucky. If you look more closely, you have like triangles, eyes, hidden numbers. They're scattered across this album art. Some people have broken it down frame by frame. Most conspiracy theorists regarding the Illuminati say that the Illuminati is known for protecting its sort of high-up artists in exchange for loyalty and influence. That higher power could be the hidden elite. Others point to Snoop's uncanny adaptability. He went through rap beefs without ever being hit. What I mean by that is I did some sort of like research into it. He left his rap label called Death Row Records untouched when others didn't make it out. Apparently this record label is known for its, didn't really know the right word, dodgy dealings, I guess. I don't know, Like Tupac, for example, was killed shortly after tensions rose between him and the label. Dr. Dre had to launch Aftermath Entertainment during major legal battles. But Snoop, however, managed to leave the record label completely untouched. No signs of beef, no signs of blowback, and no signs of retaliation. For a label infamous for its violence and iron grip on artists, that kind of clean exit seems practically unheard of. So, you know. And now these days, Snoop has become the face of family-friendly media without ever really losing his street cred. Is he just a smart guy, or did he sign the contract? A lot of conspiracy theorists claim that the price of fame is submission to the system. The artists who play along are rewarded with longevity, and those who resist are silenced.
Silent, or were you silenced?
So when Snoop says he's blessed, is that divine grace he's talking about, or is it a designer fate? I need to speed up the zesting of this orange because I can't have this entire video of me talking about Snoop Dogg gangster conspiracy theories while zesting one single orange. There has to be more depth. Here's one that's truly out there, the theory that Snoop Dogg is immortal. Yeah, you heard that right. There are some people on the internet who are absolutely convinced that the D-O-double-G has been around a lot longer than anyone's letting on. Okay, let me check on my pie. My spud. I'm getting ahead of myself. These don't do nothing. Just to make sure, oh, I don't know about you. Right, these go in for a bit longer. Anyway, what is their main evidence for the immortal theory? Apparently it's a set of grainy 19th century photographs featuring a man who looks uncannily like Snoop. Same face shape, same eyes, same iconic chill expression. Coincidence? Maybe. But that hasn't stopped the rabbit hole from getting deeper and deeper about his eternal youth. Some online sleuths claim he is a time-traveling musician that's slipping through centuries to drop beats across the ages. Others go even further and claim that he's an ancient soul who keeps reincarnating into music legends. First a bluesman, then a jazz artist, and now a rap icon. You know what I know I can do while I'm waiting for the spuds actually, is butter the pan. Lightly butter a 9-inch 23cm pie plate. I don't have a pie plate, I have a cake tin. And I'm not going to butter it, I'm just going to stick some greaseproof paper in it. So it will affect the shape of the pie. I don't even know if this is the right size. I don't know. So, yeah, Snoop's eternal youth, is it totally ridiculous? I mean, yeah, but then again, he has managed to stay relevant for decades, barely aging, with a vibe that seems oddly eternal. And honestly, have you actually seen this man age? He's been in the game since the early 90s and still looks like he wandered out of a 1994 music video. Bruh, dropped a skincare routine. I think everyone needs it. I've seen someone do that once and I've done it ever since. That if you just scrunch it up into a ball, it will like just shape into like any shape that you want. Oh, what's that? Oh, it was a crumb. Well, there's a spider. I obviously actually dug a bit deeper into this, and although I absolutely love the idea that Snoop is immortal, just gliding through the centuries, dropping beats and barely aging, unfortunately, of course, the so-called evidence for Snoop's immortality is kind of shaky at best. We're talking memes, Photoshop, wizardry, the usual internet rabbit holes. Not exactly what you'd call like hard historical proof. There are no credible records or documentation or like serious investigations into this theory, just loads of creative speculation and a good laugh, to be honest. But still, the man barely seems to age. He's been cool since the 90s and hasn't lost an ounce of chill. So is it just another wild theory, or is Snoop actually the smoothest time traveller that the world's never caught? Either he's sipping from the fountain of youth, or Martha Stewart really did teach him some kind of ancient witchcraft. But honestly, like who's to say, stranger things have gone viral. I forgot that I left the butter in there. As we said earlier in the video, Snoop Dogg is one of the rare major artists to leave Death Row Records both alive and with his career intact. Others, like Tupac and Nate Dogg, didn't have it so easy after their time with Death Row. As an example of that, Tupac joined Death Row in 1995 after Suge Knight bailed him out of jail at a huge $1.4 million bond. Tupac was accused of sexually assaulting a woman in a New York hotel room. This was a high-profile case at the time. He was awaiting trial when Suge Knight helped secure his release on bail. Tupac agreed to release a few albums with the label, and during that time he dropped what was considered to be one of the biggest albums in his career called All Eyes on Me. But being a part of Death Row record label also meant that he was getting wrapped up in notorious East Coast and West Coast feuds, which really heated up the tensions between rival crews. And then came probably one of the most biggest conspiracy theories that are on the conspiracy theory list, was Tupac's death. In September 1996, Tupac was shot in a drive-by Las Vegas shooting. He died just 6 days later at only 25 years old. His murder is still officially unsolved, and it's up there with one of the biggest celebrity major conspiracy theories because there's just so much that doesn't really add up, and there's so much more detail. We just don't have the time to talk about that. Maybe I'll make that as a video, I don't know. But a lot of people think his connection to Death Row Records and all of the drama around it played a big role regarding the danger that he was in. Then we have Nate Dogg, who was another massive part of the Death Row family. He was known for those smooth hooks that a lot of people deemed that he defined the G-Funk sound. He wasn't caught up in the violence or drama like some others, but the chaos at the label, including some financial problems, lawsuits, and internal conflicts, made it tough for him to get a solo success going after he left. On top of that, in later life, Nate had some serious health problems and he suffered a couple of strokes that really affected his ability to perform. He passed away in 2011 at just 41. Death Row Records was co-founded by Suge Knight, and it was infamous for its volatile environment, a mix of groundbreaking music, behind-the-scenes violence. Several artists and associates reported intimidation, financial manipulation, and even physical threats. So Snoop began to distance himself from Death Row following the release of his 1996 album The Dogfather, especially after Dr. Dre's departure and the death of Tupac. He later described the environment at Death Row as chaotic and has openly criticised Suge Knight's leadership. Probably not the best time to interject, but I just need to check on the spuds. Yeah, I would say they're done. The spuds are finally done after 10,000 years. Cook those. Remove from the oven, let to cool until safe to handle. Not gonna do that. Peel off the skins. Place the peeled sweet spuds in a food processor. Process until smooth. I don't have a food processor, so I'm just gonna sort of bash them around in a bowl because that would work. I feel like that would work. They're way too hot to handle, but we're not gonna listen to that, you know? We take risks here on this channel, okay? Unlike others who clashed with Suge or left under the pressure, Snoop's exit was unusually smooth. Some have often speculated about why it was so smooth, and they've questioned whether he may have had information or leverage or simply luck. There is no public evidence of a deal or insider knowledge. After leaving, Snoop signed with No Limit Records in 1998 under Master P, a decision which helped distance him from the violence and legal troubles plaguing Death Row. I need to scoop out the spuds. I absolutely love sweet potato. I could eat endless sweet potatoes. To this day, Snoop remains one of the only high-profile artists to leave Death Row who can sort of speak candidly about that era, about that time. Survive it with not only his legacy intact, but he obviously has thrived, let's be real. Like, everybody knows Snoop, even if you don't listen to Snoop, you know Snoop Dogg, Snoop Dogg. Pretty sure even my parents know about Snoop. Some theorists have suggested that Snoop had inside knowledge or even made a deal to walk away clean. Because one of the things that they wonder about is why did Suge never go after him, and what did Snoop know that seemingly protected him, if anything. Okay, so now it's time to get a little bit darker, if the previous one wasn't dark enough already, about death and God knows what else. A lot of people believe, and I feel like every celebrity is involved in a conspiracy theory like this, so Snoop is no exception, just like the Illuminati thing. A lot of people believe that a lot of Snoop's music and his videos and sort of things like that are heavily sort of sprinkled with satanic and occult vibes, especially when he teams up with Dr. Dre or Kendrick Lamar. So let's talk about Murder Was the Case, which was a short song film filmed in 1994, I think it was, where Snoop plays a character who gets shot, dies, and then makes a deal with the devil to come back to life. But with a catch, he has to give up his soul.
About to have my baby. I think it's too late for praying. Hold up, her voice spoke to me and it slowly started saying,
bring your lifestyle to me, I make it better.
And how long will I live?
Eternal life and forever.
It's essentially like a wild story about the heavy price of fame and survival. It kind of has like a sort of Netflix Black Mirror vibe, sort of, which fits right into a long history of artists rumored to have sold their souls to fame, which fuel speculation about secret societies or hidden messages. So far, this is going well, I think. I don't want to jinx it. It said to use only 4 spuds, but I'm just going to use them all, and then anything I don't need, I'm just not going to use. A lot of fans and conspiracy theorists have highlighted the fact that Snoop has apparently embraced a more sort of mystic sort of persona over the years, where he's adopted sort of like, you know, different beliefs and the whole like Snoop Lion persona thing that we spoke about. A lot of people have, you know, seen that happen over the years, and they've watched it and they've come to the conclusion that Snoop must have a more in-depth knowledge than other people, and that he has secret knowledge about higher societies and things like that. Kind of like what we discussed earlier, really. Obviously, none of it's confirmed and most of it is open to interpretation, but the combination of eerie visuals, storytelling, about deals with the devil and Snoop, his evolving image, it just kind of adds fuel to the fire with conspiracy theories and keeps them alive and well. And let's face it, everybody loves a spooky story, everybody loves, lost a bit of my stuff. Everybody loves a spooky story, like who doesn't? I mean, as I always say, I love it, you love it, we all love it. You wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't. Because let's be honest, like even if you think that stuff's scary, even if you don't believe in it, it makes for great visuals and it gets people talking, which, you know, could be one of the ways that maybe Snoop's been around for so long, you know, people always talking, keeping him in their mind. It makes great music as well. I like Snoop's music. I don't see how this is going to fill up that cake tin. Don't know, I guess we'll find out. Alright, I'm on my last spud. Let me do this 2 secs, because this is taking forever. And the majority of this video is just going to be grating an orange. So, if you like fruit, this has been good for you. Okay, right, that's it. I'm just gonna mash it up a bit here because I feel like that would be. Wait, do I even need the bowl? Can I just mash it up? I think I just mash it up on the tray. Yeah, that'll do. Boom, boom. There was a bit of pill in that one, I'm just gonna bin. If Snoop ever does happen to stumble upon this video and by chance watches this, he's probably just gonna be like, what the hell are you doing to my recipe? I do have a food processor. I could probably stick it in a blender, but it's more washing up and I'm not here for it. I am one woman.
Don't think this is like great for me. I don't want to do it. I want to go home. Like, I can't take the pressure of it.
Make the filling, roast sweet potato, done that. In the oven, done that. Peeled off the skins, done that. Place the peeled sweet potatoes in the food processor. Done that. Alright, add the milk, melted butter, eggs, and brown sugar and nutmeg. Okay, so now I'm going to put that in the bowl and do that. What have I got to do again? Right, 2 large eggs. Do I add them in now? I'm so excited to try this. 120 ml of milk on it, so I'm just going to add that much. That'll do. Boom. Alright, milk in. Melted butter, that was 75 ml. No, way too much. Are you 75? Also too much. It doesn't, I'm pouring it out and it doesn't look like it's going down, so. I've poured it out 3 times and stayed at the same level. Is this the Illuminati? Is this Snoop? Does he not want me to make this video? That'll do. I think that'll be fine. Brown sugar, which I still want to brown actually. How much? Sure, anyway. Right. Nutmeg, and the orange zest. I wish you could smell how it smells. It smells like Christmas, like nutmeg, orangey, really rich, really sweet. It smells amazing. Now it's my turn to butcher the recipe by not using a food processor. I can stir the crap out of it then, I guess. So I go roll out my dough. I need to tidy up a little bit. Place the dough on a lightly floured work surface and roll into a large circle. Do I think I've made this pastry correctly? Absolutely not. Is it gonna crack and do all things that pastry shouldn't do? Probably, yeah. I didn't foresee this coming out right, really, if I'm honest with you. We're going to reconstruct it in the tin. I haven't planned, because I'm not remaking this pastry, we're just going to sort of deal with it in the tin. I'm really sorry about this, Mr. Snoop Dogg. I can only apologise. Because it's supposed to have like a side to it, I think. I probably used too big of a cake tin. But what can you do, really? use the right cake tin is what you can do, actually. Right, that's how we're looking. It ain't gonna be pretty, but it's gonna be something. Add the sweet potato filling to the crust. Oh dear. Okay, so pie in the oven, this is what we're working with. I'm actually afraid to tilt it, so, you know. But we're going in, it's going in, let's do this. So with the sweet potato pie doing its thing, let's talk about what's baking in the brain. Whoa, wait a minute, what? No back and forth? What do you mean? That whole back and forth banner thing we do. It's cute. No, it's cringe and it takes so long to edit. Rude. Oh my god. Oh my god, wow, you do such a good job. What's happening in the brain? Didn't really sound like you mean it. Come on, sweet potato. See, it wasn't too much to ask. Okay, so before you start dialing in the Men in Black, let's break it down as to why people see some secret cults in the Snoop Man. Spoiler, it's mostly in our heads. I know, what? When fans start spotting satanic symbols in music videos, it's not always about what's really there, it's more about what's in our brains and what they're wired to see. This taps into something called apophenia, which is our tendency to find meaningful patterns in random or unrelated things. Think like seeing a face in the clouds or hearing messages when you play a song backwards. Our minds are constantly trying to make sense of chaos, even sometimes when there's not really much there to make sense of. In Snoop's case, when a video features dramatic lighting, flames, crosses, or even like cryptic hand signs, some people's brains might go into overdrive. They might be screaming like, is that a symbol? Is this a message? What the hell does this mean? This must mean something. That's pattern recognition kicking in, and once people are looking for something satanic, when they're focused on it, they're probably going to start seeing it pretty much everywhere. Then we have the confirmation bias, which is a psychological filter that makes us focus on the information that only supports what we already believe. It's believed our brains do this because it saves mental effort and avoids discomfort. So if somebody already thinks that there's occult symbolism in the music industry, which a lot of people do, understandably, there are some odd music videos out there, they'll zero in on every candle, shadowy figure, or creepy lyric while ignoring all of the stuff that doesn't support that theory. Then we have another layer to add, which is cognitive dissonance. We've mentioned it before in previous videos, and it's the mental discomfort we feel when two things don't quite line up. Like Snoop's chill, funny, weed-smoking persona being paired with a dark, intense imagery like something like murder was the case. Some people don't like that mismatch, so their brains are trying to make sense of it. For them, the answer could be, maybe this isn't just art, maybe he's trying to tell us something through messages in his music video. In reality, if you look at the massive catalogue of music videos that are out there, artists have been using religious and dark symbolism for absolutely decades. Not necessarily because they believe in it, it's most likely because it provokes a reaction, it makes people talk about their new song that they have out, and it just adds a weight to a story. For the conspiracy-minded viewers, it's not just visuals, it's a coded message waiting to be decoded, and who knows, maybe it is. The clone theory idea of celebrity clones isn't just a sci-fi fantasy, it actually stems from a real discomfort with change. Someone as famous and familiar as Snoop Dogg starts looking and sounding or acting differently to what people usually know. Some people struggle to recognise that shift as just growth or evolution or whatever. We build strong mental images of public figures, and some people even base their whole entire identity on them as they grow up. So when they change, it can cause an identity disruption for some people. The sense that something doesn't quite match anymore, especially when they've based so much of maybe their style, their personality, or even the things they do on these people that they love so much. That's where you can get the uncanny valley theory coming in. It's a phenomenon where something looks almost human or almost familiar, but it's not quite right. It can trigger like a weird, unsettling feeling. Like, have you ever watched the film Polar Express? That fucked me up. That fucked me up. Their soulless eyes. Ooh, give me the creeps. I could never watch that film and be like, oh, it's a cute Christmas film. I watch it and I think, oh my god, where are their souls? Snoop is still Snoop, but maybe he looks younger than expected, or sounds slightly different, or behaves a little different than usual, and that subtle mismatch makes people suspicious. This eerie vibe to some people can spark an existential curiosity, or even paranoia, especially online where small details get magnified by thousands or even sometimes millions of people. One odd photo or interview clip can quickly turn into evidence of cloning, and it doesn't take long for the theory to completely spread and gain traction or even get out of control sometimes. The immortality theory. We love the idea of timeless icons, people who seem bigger than life or maybe even beyond it. So when a 19th century photo shows up and someone looks suspiciously like Snoop, it sparks an eerie sense of reincarnation or even time travel for some people. This taps into something called mythic projection, our tendency to turn celebrities into larger than life figures who transcend normal limits like aging or even death. You add in something like historical pattern seeking with that, and suddenly our brains are scanning the past for familiar faces to match the legends of today. But here's the thing, with billions of people born over centuries, is it not statistically almost guaranteed that some people hundreds of years ago are going to resemble someone of today? It's kind of just math. Like, I'm not the best at maths, but surely eventually facial features will align at some point. I mean, there's can only be so many combinations that you can get, do you know what I mean? But still, when it's someone like the legend that is Snoop Dogg Dogg, who already feels a bit otherworldly, the resemblance hits a little bit different, I guess. Is it a coincidence? Is it just good cheekbones? Or maybe the Dogfather really is just timeless? The Illuminati theory sticks around because it gives people a sense of order and control in a world that feels so chaotic and unpredictable. This most likely taps into something called agency detection, which is our brain's natural tendency to assume that behind every complex event there has to be an intentional agent or force pulling the strings. For many people, there's something oddly comforting about that thought, even if it means they're not quite in control. As far as humans go, we don't usually like randomness or unpredictable chaos because it makes us feel unsafe. Many of us want explanations, even if they're a little bit unsettling. So when bad news, mysterious events that don't seem quite right, or powerful celebrities pop up, it's just easier to believe that there's a secret group orchestrating it all rather than chance or some sort of other complex reason. That idea can be both comforting and scary. Comforting because it means there's a reason or a plan, but scary because the plan or reason might be sinister, but because there is a plan, it's comforting. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a circle. Like, oh, there's a plan. Oh, but it's chaos. Oh, but I'm unsure. Oh, but there is a plan. Oh, but here we go again. Oh my god. Oh. So when you combine the desire for clear explanations, which we always desire as humans, we just need to know everything. Our brains need to figure everything out all of the time. We just need to know the answers to everything. With the feelings of powerlessness, it's easy to see how someone like Snoop Dogg, a major celebrity with mysterious or influential vibes, ends up wrapped in these shadowy Illuminati stories like many other celebrities that are out there. The thing to remember with celebrities is we build one-sided relationships with these people, and when they change naturally, like any human does, because everybody changes throughout their life, it can feel like they're the ones who let us down. So instead of accepting that Snoop, like all of us, evolve with time, some fans go searching for answers that fit their disappointment. And then that's where the conspiracy theories come in. He's not the real Snoop, he's a clone, he's part of the Illuminati now. He wasn't. I applied, I got rejected, I applied. It becomes easier to believe he was replaced, sold out, or turned evil than to accept he might have just changed. Or maybe he is part of the Illuminati. After all, majority of psychology is also just theories made up by people like you and I. And if I go missing after this, I think that confirms that he is in the Illuminati, or an alien, or both. Back to me in the kitchen. I don't think the pie looks too bad. The crust, I could have done better. Obviously it could have been a bit more prettier looking, but I didn't use a pie dish, so sorry about that, Snoop. I didn't really know what to expect. I've always wanted to try a sweet potato pie. I'm nervous. Let's just give it a go. I'm scared. Oh, it's still lukewarm. That's really nice. Oh my god. It's really sweet, obviously, sweet potato pie. But it's like you've got the orange, the nutmeg. It's like, it reminds me of Christmas. It's got lots of like Christmassy tastes to it. I really like that. I was really concerned about my pastry not coming out right. Obviously it could have been prettier, but I think I did an okay job and I'm really pleased with that. Snoop, you did us proud. Thank you so much. You're a really great cook. So whether you believe any of these theories or think that they're all just smoke and mirrors, one thing's clear: Snoop is a cultural icon, which we kind of knew already. That's no conspiracy. He's outlasted gang wars, label beefs, and even the laws of aging. Maybe he is an alien. Oh my god, that's so good. What do you think? Is he a clone? Is he part of the Illuminati? Is he a time traveller? Or is he just a chill guy just doing his own thing? Drop your theory in the comments. Super cringe, but drop your theory in the comments. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Or don't. It's up to you. No pressure. Peace. When the boys try to get you, like a song, like a song, like a song. Rolling on my arm and I'm